guys, thanks for tuning in for another week of my prediction game. You will have just seen that I'm facing Chris Scull, formerly of the Knees Up Mother Brown podcast, and now actually podcaster for Quickly Kevin podcast, obviously, and also the face of West Ham United, the Watch This. I don't know if anyone's ever seen it. Different people join in with Chris to commentate on the game. The one that stands out in my mind is the Colton Cole one. So if you haven't seen that, have a look on the YouTube. I believe it's on there. It's worth a look. It's quite entertaining. Anyway, enough about that. Thanks, Chris, for joining in. I do appreciate it. He is actually trying to beat James Longman as a personal rivalry, obviously both being members of the Knees Up Mother Brown podcast. So James has actually been top of the league for weeks until last week. So if you didn't see last week's results, here they are. Yeah, obviously I had a crazy week, getting 9 out of the 10 results. And yeah, us actually winning is a shock in itself because we're not used to that anymore. And so Overington obviously actually had a good week himself, but sadly I just managed to beat him. So as you can see, I am now top of the league. James Longman now in second and Matty Everton in third. Yeah, top of the league. I'm amazed. It was a brilliant week. I put a £1 on it for all 10 results. Obviously, I cashed out for the last game. So, and yeah, I might start doing that every week. A tenfold accumulator £1. It's worth a go anyway, isn't it? Yeah, so brilliant week for me. Top of the league. Yeah, we could say that's slightly unfair because I get a go every week, but who cares? It's part of the game. Anyway, so this week I'm facing Chris Scull, and yeah, here you go. Enjoy, guys. First up, Everton Liverpool, massive derby game, obviously, and Liverpool had a brilliant result midweek against Man City. I don't think anyone probably saw that coming. I mean, you know, you didn't think it was a definite Man City win, but 3-0, you know, you'd have got good odds on that. So, yeah, I mean, it's a derby game. Everton are at home. They will be massively up for this game. Everton are a really strange side, as I keep saying every week with Sam. But I think Everton will go all out in this. Obviously, they will. It's a huge game for them. And for the fact they're at home, I'm gonna go with a draw. I think there'll be goals, though, so I'm going 2-2.
Hello, Katie at Flump9. Nice to finally be on your football prediction site. I understand that James did very well when he appeared, but I will certainly try and up the ante. Chris Scull here, occasional face of West Ham, and the podcast Quickly Kevin. Will he score? Available at all good podcast outlets. I'm here in Spain. Let's do some Premier League predictions. First one, Everton versus Liverpool. Liverpool flying high off that amazing midweek victory over City, but they have left it. They've left nothing. It's all gone. They're going to lose 2-0 to Everton.
First of the 3 o'clock games is Bournemouth Palace. Palace obviously fighting for their life. I mean, we all are down in the bottom half of the table, to be honest. And I think it's going to be a really tight one. So I'm actually going to go with another draw. And I'm going to go with the same scoreline. So 2-2 again in this game.
Bournemouth versus Palace. I've never wanted two teams to lose a game at the same time more, but sadly someone has to pick up the points here. I think Hodgson's figured this one out. They were unlucky against Liverpool last week. I'm going to go 2-1 Palace.
Brighton, Huddersfield. This is a tight one, but Huddersfield have had some really poor results lately. I don't think they've won in quite a few games. And Brighton being at home, I'm fancying them for the win. I reckon it'll be 1-0 Brighton.
Brighton versus Huddersfield. Again, two absolutely useless teams. I think of the two, Huddersfield are probably slightly more useless. Going to go 3-0 Brighton.
Leicester versus Newcastle. Leicester won last weekend, so did Newcastle, but they only just managed to scrape a 1-0 victory against a poor Huddersfield side. So I think Leicester will win. They're at home, can't see anything else other than a home win. 2-0 Leicester.
Leicester versus Newcastle. Newcastle seemingly pulling themselves out of trouble. It seems to me. Leicester, they've got the firepower there. I reckon that could be an absolute mauling. 4-0 Leicester.
Stoke versus Tottenham. I hate this, wanting Tottenham to win, but you know, it's happened a few times obviously when we're in a relegation battle, and yeah, I'll be gutted if Tottenham let us down because they really shouldn't. Stoke are really poor, but they are at home, so I fancy they're going to score. I'm thinking they'll score 1, but it will be 3-1 Tottenham.
Stoke versus Tottenham, man, I hate to say it, but Tottenham are playing very well, and Stoke are not playing very well, which is good for us. Sadly, on this occasion, I do want Tottenham to win because it'd be really nice if it was like relatively secure that we wouldn't be getting relegated by the end of April, and I think a Spurs victory would help that. So I'm going to go 2-0 Tottenham.
Watford, Burnley. This is a tight one. Watford, you know, have had an alright season. Burnley have had a great season. Some unpredictable results along the way, but Burnley have been on a bit of a roll, and I think it'll be an away win, so I reckon it's going to be Watford 1, Burnley 2.
Watford versus Burnley. Watford were unlucky the other week, but Burnley are just on fire. Well, Watford slightly unlucky the other week. It's hard to look beyond Burnley at the moment, isn't it? I think they're probably going to shade this one. 1-0 to Burnley, I reckon.
West Brom, Swansea. Obviously, we don't really want any of these teams to get any points, and you'd probably actually say you'd rather West Brom to get something from it because you think that they're definitely relegated. Well, we hope they're definitely relegated. It's not mathematically impossible, but they don't have much about them at the moment. So yeah, I'm predicting Swansea to win. I'm going with West Brom 1, Swansea 2.
West Brom versus Swansea. Again, two absolutely awful teams. A lot of awful teams playing awful teams this weekend. But West Brom, my man Pard's gone this week. I'm so sad to see him go, but he will come back from this, I'm sure. But I don't think West Brom are going to be coming back from anything this season. I'm going to go with 2-1 Swansea.
And now another derby. Manchester City versus Manchester United. What a huge game this is. I'm going to be actually a bit gutted because I'm not going to actually be able to watch this match because I'm at a wedding, because I think it'll be a brilliant game. Obviously, Man City didn't have a good result against Liverpool, and they've obviously got the second leg coming up next week, so I don't know what sort of side they'll field, but then again, you know, there's such a strong squad that any side that they put out will be a decent side. They're going to want to win it there. But Manchester United obviously aren't going to make it easier for them. But I still think that they're going to claim the title with a 2-1 victory.
City United. City playing the most unbelievable football until they came unstuck against Liverpool this week. United playing the most boring football Man United have played in several years. I see this one. City are probably going to have their confidence dented. They're probably going to rest some players. I reckon Mourinho's going to shut up shop, as he often does. 0-0 in this one.
Arsenal Southampton. I needed Arsenal to do us a favour last week, and they did. And I'm hoping they'll do us another favour this week by beating Southampton. We own it. We know. You know, we did play well last Saturday, but Southampton were poor. They didn't really have any shots at all, really. I don't remember. So that probably made us look a bit better than we actually were. So I can't think that Arsenal will lose this. I'm going with a 3-0 Arsenal win.
And in Sunday's fixtures, Arsenal at home to Southampton. I think Southampton are down, and it would again really help us if they lost. So as much as I hate to see Arsene Wenger pick up some points and not produce another fantastic episode of Arsenal Fan TV, I'm going to go 2-0 Arsenal.
Now, the final game of the weekend, and obviously it's us, Chelsea away. we've obviously come off a brilliant result last weekend against Southampton, but we have to remember it was Southampton, and they are really poor. So I'm not getting carried away. There's still a long way to go, and we're playing Chelsea, so this is a big ask. Having said that, Chelsea obviously lost to Tottenham the same weekend, and there's sort of games that you never know that we sometimes manage to actually get something from when people aren't expecting us to. If they turn up and battle like they did from the start last weekend, then I think we've got a chance. And what am I going with? I want to go with a win, but I'm not going to push it. I'm going to go with a draw, 1-1, and this is the game that we're doing the first goal scorer. So, first goal scorer, got to give it to Arnie.
And lastly, who we got? Bear with me. Chelsea West Ham on the Sunday. I would never bet on West Ham, as I think I'm not lucky enough to have West Ham win and me win a bet, so I try not to do that. However, Chelsea sometimes away from home, I feel like we get lucky. However, this Sunday, I can't really see it, but I also can't bring myself to say that we'll lose. So I'm going to be diplomatic and say 1-1, fingers crossed, a point would be lovely. There you go, Katie. I hope that's good enough for you. And more importantly, I hope I beat James Longman. He can't see into the future as well as I can. Cheers.
I love this game.